It's that time again when giant athletes from around the world battle for the title of most powerful man on earth. Hello and welcome to Wingate University in North Carolina, the venue for the World's Strongest Man 2011. Strength athletes all over the world dream of winning a place to these finals, but it's a place that must be earned, and that means passing through one of the global qualifying events like the Giants Live Tour as it hits Istanbul in Turkey. That's where we're heading today to see which of the contestants can win one of the 3 golden tickets to these finals. Istanbul, half in Asia, half in Europe, and host to the first stop on the road to World's Strongest Man. And it is to the famous footballing stronghold of Besiktas that our strongmen head for the first chance to qualify at a Giants Live Grand Prix. The top 3 strongmen going through, and the world champion Zydrunas Savickas keep his winning streak alive.
Giants Live, welcome to Turkey.
Let's meet the men out to beat Big Z, Stoyan Todicev, Bulgaria's strongest man. The 19-year-old from Romania, Paul Purjol. Ukraine's strongest man, Konstantin Ilin. From England, a man with something to prove, Lawrence Charlet. Serbia's strongest man, Ervin Katona. From Norway, the evocatively named giant Richard Skog. Iceland's latest sensation, Stefan Solvi Pedersen. The experienced veteran from Blackburn in England, Mark Felix. The giant 6'8" American, Brian Shaw. And the man they're all trying to beat, Big Z, Lithuania's Zydrunas Savickas. Over now to our commentary team of Paul Dinkinson, and first up, telling us what's in store for the strongmen, Colin Bryce.
Our first event is the last man standing Apollon's axle. The competitors have to pick this axle up. The handle's 2 inches thick as a Coke can. They have to pick it to their chest and press it overhead. The starting weight is 165 kilos. If you make that, it goes up and up. The world record is 193 kilograms, owned by Big Z, of course.
And a big disappointment for England's Mark Felix, failing his opening weight of 165 kilos. Ervin Katona, he got 165, then 185, failed his next weight. Could the last man standing be Paul Purjol? A new world record of 195, looking good, and breaking into a little dance as well. Then Konstantin Ilin, the second man to break those world record figures. Then it was the turn of Lawrence Charlet of England. Made it look easy. Just locked out. Judges said that was fine. Another world record breaker. None was better, though, than Stefan Solvi Pedersen. He made it look so easy. The giant American, Brian Shaw, looking good as well. And then the man who held the world record previously, Savickas, came out and made it look the easiest of the lot. So there we have it, all of those men, all 6 of them, breaking the world record that was set last year. Well, more weight is being added onto the bar now, 205 kilos. And this would be 12 kilograms over the old world record. And this amazing young 19-year-old, Paul Purjol, Romania's strongest man, and still a teenager. And this is supposed to be an event, a sport, where the older you get, the stronger you get. But this guy is a real prodigy. He's got another attempt, if he can get it. Oh, that's so difficult. So Paul Purjol's best lift, 195 kilos, goes out of the competition, but he can be satisfied. He is a world record breaker. Konstantin Ilin now. There's a background in powerlifting. Can he be the first to hoist this bar, weighing 205 kilos, 451 pounds? balance is so important. Just settles himself, no leg drive, so he too is eliminated, and we're down to 4. Lawrence Charlet. He certainly is looking bigger and stronger than he was last year in this competition. So the halfway stage, up to his stomach, hoisted up onto his chest. Locks out, and that is brilliant. A new world record for the Englishman. Well, Colin, it looked awkward to start with, but then he really got moving.
Well, it's really never a thing of beauty when it's on an axle. It's so awkward to get up to your chest, but he had plenty of power to jerk it overhead in the end. A great world record for England's Charlet.
That could mean big points for the Englishman. Stefan Solvi Pedersen now of Iceland. The latest in a long line of great Icelandic strongmen. Now, the previous weight looked very, very easy indeed. He's got to turn the bar over, and he's hurt that right shoulder. Now, how much is that going to affect him in the rest of the competition? That looked painful. Zydrunas Zavikas. He'll be anxious to regain the world record that he lost. And just shows you the progress these men have made in, what, a little over 12 months. And he just presses it out. That was superb. And possibly more to come as well. So 215 kilos on the bar. Lawrence Charlet, guaranteed big points. But boy, would he love to take this first event. And that would just put a bit of pressure on the man who previously has won the world's strongest man title a couple of times, Zydrunas Zavikas, Big Z. But first of all, this awesome weight. Now this is where it gets really awkward. He's done well to get it up to his chest, but how much has he got left? Looks as though he's struggling a little bit, little drive with the legs, but there was nothing left. But Lawrence Charlet, best lift of 205, and that for the time being is still the new world record figures. Zydrunas Zavikas, even some of the competitors are standing around now, getting enthusiastic about the possibility of 473 pounds being lifted. 215 kilos, this for the victory, and also for another world record for this fantastic Lithuanian. Now, can he press it again? Oh, that is fantastic strength. Unbelievable. Those weights bouncing around all over the place. And this guy is going to be tough to beat once again.
I think we need a bigger bar next time, Paul. It just managed to hold that weight. A great world record for a great champion. Unbelievable shoulder power.
Well, Big Z smashing his own world record there by a stunning 22 kilos, 10 kilograms ahead of Lawrence Charlet. 4 other men breaking the old world record with 195 kg. Well, up next, it's the Farmer's Walk. A chance to see if Mark Felix, at 45 years of age, still has the world's strongest grip. That's coming up after the break. Welcome back to the road to the world's strongest man. We're at our first destination for the Giants Live Grand Prix, Istanbul. Over now to Colin Bryce to tell us what the strongmen face next.
Things are quite literally heating up here. It's about 35 degrees now, and they're up against the Farmer's Walk medley. 150 kilos in each hand has to be run up 20 meters, back 20 meters. If that wasn't hard enough, they then pick this beer barrel, which weighs 130 kilos, and stagger, run, walk another 20 meters and put it on the platform at the end.
Well, looking at some of the early competitors, Richard Skog of Norway, 44.16, a good time. Irving Katona there, 35.10, so already in the lead. Konstantin Ilin, 54.2, surprisingly slow for him. And Paul Pujol, this brilliant teenager, 59.2, found it hard. So Mark Felix now against Todochev, the Bulgarian champion. There he is, solid competitor. He's got a tremendous grip as well, but so has Mark Felix. And Mark Felix really fancies his chances here. Those giant fingers wrapped around the handles. You heard what Colin said. 150 kilos in each hand. That's 330 pounds. They almost look like gun barrels, don't they? Glinting in the sunshine. Away we go. And Mark Felix has got a bit of work to do because Todochev is flying.
Well, I think both men are going to push the 35.1 second lead time at the moment by Katona. But surprisingly, it's Todochev who's beating Felix at his own game.
It's going to be close. I think the leader's gone. Yes, it has. Todochev having difficulty. Mark Felix. Talk about the tortoise and the hare. He came from behind, 36 seconds plus, and Todochev 41.45. Big Brian Shaw of the USA, second in World's Strongest Man last year. He's up against Stefan Solvi Pedersen. He's been in Istanbul for a couple of days. Let's find out what he's been doing.
Hey, baby.
My name is Stefan Solvi Pedersen.
You're so powerful.
I'm Iceland's strongest man, 24 years old, 6'5", 155 kilos.
You're invincible.
So my experience here in Istanbul has been great. The people here have taken me with open arms. I've been going from TV station to TV station, doing interviews, and it seems like Turkey is really excited and ready to see a strongman competition. So I really think that Turkey has a potential to be a strongman nation. We haven't really seen many strongman athletes from Turkey, but we're hoping to do so because there's a rich tradition of Olympic weightlifting, wrestling. So we're really looking forward to introduce strongman to Turkey and hopefully generate some interest for the future and get good athletes from Turkey. People ask me all the time, why do people do strongman? Why do I try to lift heavy stone and why do I try to lift up cars? And there's actually no good answer for it, really. You know, it's just a passion. Push ourselves hard and see what we can do. If I would have to sum up Zydrunas Savickas, I would just have to be honest, and I truly believe that he is just the strongest man that has ever lived. Iceland's strongest man here in Turkey, ready to fight, yeah!
Well, being Iceland's strongest man is no mean feat. Gregor Edmonds taking over from his father as the referee in these contests. And away we go. Brian Shaw nearest the camera. Neck and neck at the moment as they head towards the first of the two turns they've got to make in this contest. And Solvi Pedersen is away.
Well, this is a bit surprising. Brian Shaw, normally so quick in these medley events. He's 400 plus pounds, but he's very fast on his feet. Stefan Solvi now just has to finish with the barrel. Hopefully he doesn't tire too much here.
It's going to be quick from Solvi Pedersen. There you are, 32.85. He goes into the lead. And Brian Shaw, 35.34. I think the American will be disappointed. Solvi Pedersen, magnificent. Zydrunas Savickas, possibly one of the strongest men who's ever lived. Up against Lawrence Charlet. They both finished first and second in that first event. Away we go. And Lawrence Charlet, he's got off to a brilliant start, Colin.
Unbelievable. He was straight out of the block there. Barely picked it up when he was already up to a run. And again, he's so quick off the floor, Charlet. He's putting the world champion under pressure here.
Well, it's not often anybody gets the better of Savickas in any event. Now, look at this. If he can keep this going, watch the clock. 32 and a bit seconds to beat. It's going to be close, and he's got it. Just over 30 seconds. 28.14 is given. Absolutely incredible. Zavikas 31.13, but Laurent Charlet gets maximum points.
And it was all because of that brilliant start, Paul. He's so quick in his feet, Charlet.
Absolutely superb. Brilliant finish and maximum points.
So, Lawrence, it's turning out to be a great day so far. A win against the best in the world, huh?
Yeah, it's very nice. I just enjoying myself this weekend. I came to Turkey to have some good fun, relax and start enjoying strongman a bit more. I think last year I put a bit too much pressure on myself, and I just want to get back to having fun. That's why I started, so I'm enjoying it today, loving it.
Yeah, it was a huge disappointment not making the World's Strongest Man final, but now you've got a chance to prove yourself.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I mean, you know, we're all strong guys here. Some days you have a bad day. I'm enjoying it. I'm not looking forward to this next event, but, you know, I'll give it my best and see how the day finishes.
All right, well done.
Thanks, cheers.
Well, Lawrence comfortably beating the rest of the field. Stefan Solvay in second place, Savikas in third. The American Brian Shaw a little disappointing in fifth. Overall, after two events, it's England's Charlet who holds the lead, a point ahead of world champion Savikas. Things, though, starting to look fairly bleak for the senior citizen of strongman Mark Felix as he drops to last place in the contest. Up next in Istanbul, the round they've all been dreading.
Event 3 is probably the most brutal event today. You have to pick these giant tombstones, let's call them. Shield carry is what it's traditionally known as. Pick them up and carry them up and down a 20-meter course as many times as possible. Twist with this one is these weigh 200 kilograms.
Well, certainly the crowd were seeing something extraordinary here. Paul Pujol set the standard 40.45 meters. Konstantin Ilin, he found it better to go backwards, just over 9 meters. Richard Skog always was going to find this difficult. And Todachev, I thought he was going to do better. He achieved 16.65. Well, this time we see Brian Shaw going up against Mark Felix. Traditionally, Mark Felix has been pretty useful at this event. And Brian Shaw, the most difficult aspect of what he's got to do is lift it off the ground. He's 6'8" tall, and it's Mark Felix who gets away. But this is not about speed necessarily. It's about endurance, strength endurance, that is. And already Mark Felix, Colin, beginning to struggle.
Well, both Brian and Mark have huge, long arms, but it was Brian who just spent a second or two adjusting it, trying to get it as high as possible, and now it's paying dividends. Felix has gone down, and Shaw already 40 meters.
Well, Mark Felix walking disconsolately across the course. Brian Shaw there, over 45 meters. That goes into the lead. Well, poor old Mark Felix, just over 20 meters. Disappointment for the Englishman. Irving Katona next, Serbian, up against Solvay Pedersen. 1.98 m, weighs in at well over 20 stones in body weight. 200 kilos, absolutely massive.
And what's so difficult, Paul, is there's nowhere to grip it. Just trying to squeeze their fingers against it, and it's slippy concrete. It's not easy to carry at all.
Well, Solvay Pedersen is away, 440 pounds, locked in those giant arms. And this guy is struggling a little bit. Serbia's finest, but on this occasion, he's just over the 20-meter mark. Solvay Pedersen is down as well. So a bit of an anticlimax after that 45-meter plus pull by Shaw. The big two now, Laurent Charlet, who's going well, up against Zydrunas Zavikas. He's a giant in every way, the heaviest man in this contest. Now, what sort of grip can they both get? Oh, Laurent Charlet really struggling. He needs to stay in the points, though. And getting a good grip to start with is absolutely paramount.
Well, he's struggling already. His fingers are starting to slip. I think Charlet's in big trouble here.
Well, he just manages to get over the 20-meter line. Zavikas is going well. 21.5 meters for Laurent Charlet of England. That's not going to be in the big points here. But this big fella is. He's already up to 40 metres. Goes crashing down. And that means Brian Shaw has won this event.
Brian, that looked incredibly hard, that event.
Yeah, it was tough. You know, the thickness and the size of that stone makes it really awkward to carry. And, you know, it was tough to get a hold on it and go, you know, so.
You're looking a bit tired.
Yeah, you know, I'm a 9-hour time difference coming over, and I just got here yesterday, so it's kind of like I'm training about 1 or 2 in the morning a.m., you know, so it's you know, it's something that you have to deal with when you travel, and this is just part of strongman. So, you know, I'm making do, you know, it's just kind of maybe it's taking me a little while to wake up, and I'll make a run here, so we'll see.
Big Brian shaking off his jet lag then to win the shield carry by quite a considerable margin in the end, almost 5 metres ahead of Sir Vickers in second, Britain's Charlet and Felix taking 5th and 6th respectively. Overall, Sir Vickers is now on top with Charlet 2 points behind, Brian Shaw's win taking him into 3rd place, just 1 point ahead of Stefan Solvi-Pedersen. The next event at Kashuk-Shiflik Park looks particularly intriguing, bringing a whole new meaning to family pickup.
Event 4 is the car deadlift. You have to pick the back of this car up as many times as possible in 60 seconds. A good family car, but let's make it a little heavier. What we're going to do is we're going to get a whole family out the crowd, weigh them in on this scale, and then we'll see how tough it is.
So the organisers were looking for an additional weight of around 200 kilos plus. And that gave the car an all-up weight in the handles, where the men have got to lift it, of around 365. That's over 700 pounds. Richard Skog, he lifted it 6 times. Stefan Solvi-Pedersen disappointed with his 8 repetitions. Then Stoyan Todachev showed how it should be done. He managed 13. Irving Katona, he went into the lead with a massive 15 lifts. And Lawrence Charlet into the lead, albeit a slender one, 16. So Konstantin Ilin now. 16 repetitions to beat, and that is by England's Lawrence Charlet. Well, Ilin looking very powerful here, Colin.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great power lifter. He's won European championships. He's won quite a few Ukraine strongest man titles. And this is his real piece de resistance. His deadlift is awesome. He's got very long arms, a short back, all the right biomechanics for deadlifting.
Well, it's clicking away now. We're already up to 10. And we've got a 1 minute time left, so still some time to go. So, oh my goodness! One of his lifting straps broke there. Oh, it absolutely exploded.
Well, you suddenly realise how much force is going through it. That's made of seatbelt material, and it just tore to bits.
Well, getting a huge round of applause is Ilin. 12 repetitions given. And this is where Mark Felix should really come into his own. He's certainly got one of the strongest backs anybody has ever seen. So 16 reps to beat. Lawrence Charlet sitting pretty on top of the table at the moment. And once again, this is all about strength, endurance. And Mark Felix needs big points here, Colin.
Well, he knows that Zaviskus and Brian Shaw still to come. So I'm reckoning 18 to 20 reps is what he needs here to put those 2 big names under pressure.
Just taking a little bit of a breather there. And remember, this is against the clock, as well as against the number of repetitions you've got to beat, which is still 16. But Mark Felix is going well. Still got time on the clock. Don't try this at home, whatever you do. Mark Felix in the lead, 18 reps. How much more has he got left? Now, can we get to 20? The whistle goes. 19 repetitions, a mighty, mighty effort by Mark Felix of England.
He just ran out of time there. He looked good for 25 reps, perhaps, if he'd have had 90 seconds, but in 60 seconds, 19 reps, it's hard to beat that.
Well, it's Romania's strongest man, Paul Pujol, who's up next. Join us after the break here in Istanbul to find out how the 19-year-old gets on. Welcome back. We're right next to the Beşiktaş football stadium here in Istanbul. And getting ready for our next strongman. Here he is, Paul Pujol. Just wonder how he'll get on here. He's obviously very, very strong, but he lacks the experience of some of the other competitors. Guys like Mark Felix, who've been doing this for years. Well, he's not going for broke on the first couple. Taking it steady Eddie at the moment is Paul.
Well over 360 kilos in the hands. He's only 19 years old. There's only so much gym work he could do to get his maximum lifts up. He was very good at the overhead jerk, but that's a lot lighter than this.
He's struggling now. Once you've failed the lift, it's really difficult to come back. He's got 4 repetitions on the board. He's not going to score very highly here, so disappointment for Paul Pujol. Zydrunas Savickas now. What a magnificent total it was by Mark Felix at 19 repetitions, almost a banker event for the Englishman. It's actually England in first and second place at the moment. Lawrence Charlet, 16 reps. But this guy is awesome when he gets going.
Well, everybody talks about Mark Felix being perhaps the strongest back in the world when it comes to deadlifting, but rarely do you get to see Savickas and Felix go head-to-head. So this is very interesting for strength fans. Can Savickas match Felix here?
It certainly is an interesting contraption. They used to lift the car. And Savickas here, he's got a lovely rhythm going, almost using the bounce to lift it. 16, 17, and looking good, looking strong.
Well, he's chasing 19, still has over 10 seconds on the clock.
Now that draws level. Can he get one more? Yes, he can. Savickas goes into the lead. And surely he's going to call that a day. And that is the end. But 20 repetitions sets the new target. There's only Brian Shaw to come. Can the Lithuanian win it?
But he was just like a metronome, wasn't he? I think, like Felix, he was good for more, but he managed to squeeze them out quicker.
Brian Shaw knows what he's got to beat. Well, Shaw has got the added disadvantage, if you like, of being so tall. But look at the speed at which he's going, Colin. He really has rocketed off to the start, which has brought him 6 repetitions very quickly indeed.
Well, this is how he does his deadlifting, Brian Shaw. He really rips it off the ground as fast as he can to try and overcome the initial inertia. And indeed, the fact that he's so tall, it's not easy. The movement's so much longer than someone like Paul Pujol, who's only about 6 foot. 13 reps now, slowing down a little bit, but he still has 25 seconds on the clock.
So 1 minute is when the whistle will blow. And I tell you what, Brian Shaw, he's going well, but he hasn't got long left. 3 repetitions to tie Savickas at the top of the table. And if that is a tie, we'll see the points shared. 1 more to go. He's got to be quick. He's got it. And that is equal first place, the first tie that we've had. Brian Shaw, 20 reps. Magnificent effort by the American.
Well, he's finally blown away the cobwebs, hasn't he? He's back on form, a second win.
And Brian Shaw has applied a little bit of pressure to Zydrunas Savickas.
Zydrunas, 20 reps for you, 20 reps for Brian. You're very close at the moment, aren't you?
It was very close. It's unbelievable. I never lift 20 reps in deadlift. It's too much, and we was close. So we have next 2 events.
And do you think you can win this overall?
It's a good event for me. I hope I will keep my leading.
Well done. Good luck.
Thank you.
When aren't they good events for Zydrunas Savickas? Another win, this time shared with Brian Shaw. And Mark Felix must be feeling a little miffed that he came up 1 rep short of equaling the 2 biggest names in the sport. Charlet's 16 reps keeps him in the top 3, second equal with big Brian Shaw. Just 2 events to go now. Let's join Colin to find out what's next.
The penultimate event here in Istanbul is the log press for repetitions. These big boys weigh 150 kilograms. That's like lifting Stefan Solvi Petersen to your chest and throwing him overhead. As many reps as possible in 1 minute.
Irving Katona, no repetitions. Not a great start to his competition. And Stoyan Todachev just got the one and looked as though he'd torn a shoulder muscle. Richard Skog, 2 repetitions. Again disappointing by the giant Norwegian. Paul Pujol came through strongly. 6 reps. Well, here we go with Stefan Solvi Pedersen. It's not something you'd want to do, is it? Lift him up to your shoulders and press him above your head. He's up against Konstantin Ilin. So a head-to-head here. Who's going to be the first to get a rep up? Ilin gets 1. Solvi Pedersen just having a bit of trouble here, Colin, with his balance.
Yeah, and also, if you remember back to the axle, Stefan Solvi, yeah, he's grabbing his shoulder now. He tweaked something in the axle, going for the world record earlier in the contest. And it's Ilin now who's forging ahead here. 3 reps, chasing young Paul Pujol. That 6 reps is starting to look pretty good by the young Romanian.
That is absolutely right. Pedersen back on song with that one. But he is struggling, made it look easy. But still, the pain would be there and the discomfort as well. So Solvi Pedersen is out, and there's some competitors will breathe a sigh of relief when they see that.
Well, just under 10 seconds to go here. Can he equal Pujol?
Not a bad effort by Ilin. 5 repetitions. And judging from the weight, that is going to be very hard to beat indeed. So Solvi Pedersen struggling once again. Well, Mark Felix now. I don't know how he feels about lifting this giant weight. Lawrence Charlet is competing so well so far. So it's England all the way in this log lift. This is one of the heaviest logs I've ever seen, Colin. And Lawrence Charlet just shaking and wobbling about on the far side. And he's struggling already, and that is a surprise.
It is a surprise, but he said he didn't like having the sun in his eyes. It was really putting him off. Now it's getting to late afternoon here in Istanbul, and it's very bright as you try and push your head through.
These metal logs glinting in the sun, and Mark Felix has lost that one behind. Just wonder if he's going to try and attempt another lift. I doubt it. Lawrence Charlet still struggling. And despite the fact there's plenty of time left, well, I think they've called it a day. Zydrunas Savickas now must fancy his chances. Still the young Paul Pujol with 6 reps is in the lead. But we saw earlier on in the contest just how strong Savickas is overhead. Mind, Brian Shaw is no pushover either. Look at that. Incredibly strong arms and shoulders, these guys.
Well, we saw Savickas pressing 215 kilos overhead in the axle earlier for a world record. So this 150, it's really nothing for him. Barely uses his legs at all, just triceps and shoulders all the way.
Well, Savickas, 3 reps, halfway there. Brian Shaw now. Just the 2, and Savickas has got twice as many on the board. I think one was disallowed for Shaw. That is so easy. He's one of the strongest men I've ever seen on overhead lifts. 1 to go to equal Pujol, and that is Shaw. Oh, Savickas has done it with ease. Equal first place for the Lithuanian, and Brian Shaw finishes with 3 repetitions, and that should put the American in 4th place.
So surprisingly, not an out-and-out win in the log lift for Savickas. Young Paul Pujol again impressing with his 6 reps, enough to equal the king of shoulders. Sadly for the UK, Lawrence Charlet having a big disappointment. 0 reps, 0 points. Well, despite that, Charlet and Felix both in the top 6 overall, and those are the athletes who'll contest the final event, the Atlas Stones. Can Charlet hold on to his all-important 3rd place? One slip up in the stones, and it could be Iceland's Stefan Solvi who goes to the finals in his place.
Of course, any good strongman contest has to finish with the stones. And here we have the Atlas stones ranging from 120 kilos up to 180 kilos. And this young man, aged just 19 years old, has had a great day. You just drew with Zavickas in the log. That was a big result, surely.
Yes, I'm amazingly happy for this result. It's an honor to me to be with the strongest guys in the world and to win an event, to be draw with the strongest of all them.
So you've made the top 6, you've made the cut. Can you do any damage, maybe hit the podium?
That's why I wanted in the start to make the cut. Now I really get angry on these stones.
All right, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Mark Felix, he likes this event and certainly has done it many, many times, so his experience may well tell here. And this first stone, 120 kilos, should be easy, Colin.
And it is, Paul. Such long arms, so powerful as well. He can just cling on to these balls. They don't slip out of his grip. Here comes number 4, just as easy as the first.
He's got into a good rhythm. Now, can he get the 5th stone? It's a massive weight, almost 400 pounds. And with a lot of dust flying around, well, grip is the most important thing. And he gets it. Yes, he does. Well done, Mark Felix. 31.19. A mighty effort from the Englishman.
And you see just how much dust those stones are shedding there. Very difficult to grip the last one.
A fine performance. Now, Paul Pujol would love to compete well here. To get on the podium as a 19-year-old is almost unheard of. Look at that, just bounces it off a not inconsiderable stomach. But being on the short side may have a disadvantage, but he's so powerful, and that makes up for it.
Well, he might just beat Felix's 31.19 here if he keeps going at this pace, and he's a lot shorter than Felix as well, so this is impressive.
Now, you need good technique for this. You need power as well as strength and some endurance as well, and just rolls it on. Goes into the lead at 30.19. Whoops. Don't pull it off. Stefan Solvi Pedersen. Now he's going to try his heart out here. He's in shape to go into 3rd place, ahead of Lawrence Charlet, who's yet to go in this competition. And this is a good effort. Absolutely superb. Solvi Pedersen going. He's not just going, he's absolutely flying here. That is a massive improvement on the top time so far. 18.35. No reoccurrence of the shoulder problem that we have seen from him. That was incredible. And certainly the fastest time that we've seen at the moment. So how can Lawrence Charlet respond? We'll find out after the break. It certainly looks very calm on the Bosphorus here in Istanbul, but Lawrence Charlet, I bet he's quaking inside. He's got to produce something special here to make sure he gets that 3rd place and an automatic qualifying spot in the final. He's performed brilliantly so far here, and he's off to a good start, Colin.
He is, but the time to beat is 18.35 seconds, done by Stefan Solvi Pedersen, who's in 4th position overall, just behind Charlet, so he needs to pick the pace up here.
Well, he's behind on time already, so he'd have to... Oh, goodness, he's struggling with that 4th stone. I was going to say he'd have to settle for 2nd place, but that looks as though it's out of his reach as well. Remember that Pujol was 30.19. It looks as though he really is struggling even to get this off the ground. It's very hot out here, and some of the men have been complaining that they've got cramp, and he looks as though he may have a touch of cramp in his back.
Well, not surprising, he pulled 16 reps in the deadlift. I'm sure his back is blown away now. But this will be 2 bad events in a row. The log, he got 0 reps. Now 3 stones here, Paul. A really disappointing end to Charlot's campaign in Istanbul.
Well, especially after the first couple of events where he thought he could even push Zavikas. Well, Brian Shaw looks as though he's destined to take his place in the final in North Carolina. And that is a cracking start for the American.
He's the best in the world at the stones, and he's about to prove it again. Look at this. 180 kilos. Nothing.
Oh, he almost dunked it. That was superb. The mouth guard comes out. The thumbs go up. Life is looking pretty good for Brian Shaw at the moment. And that surely cements his place in the final. Well, Zydrunas Zavikas, he leads the competition with 46 points. I think he's already qualified for the final, but maybe he wants to put on a bit of a show here.
Well, you'd imagine Zavikas would like just to do a bit of showboating here. He's already made it through as the champion here in Istanbul. This is just for fun now. Here's the 5th stone. He's not going to beat Shaw, though.
Well, I just wonder, for his own pride and for a bit of practice as well, whether he'd like to do that 180-kilo stone, but the answer is no. He's satisfied with 4 in 14.25 seconds. Brian Shaw totally dominant in this Atlas Stones competition, winning ahead of Stefan Solvi Pedersen. But look at poor old Laurent Charlet down in 6th place. That really was his demise, and that means the Englishman finishes out of the qualifying positions. The leaderboard headed by Zydrunas Zavikas, still one of the strongest men in the world.
So, Zydrunas, congratulations once again. You're the champion. A good day for you?
Thank you. I'm very happy. I won this hard competition. Was very good athletes, and I'm very happy that I lift world record in pole axel.
What happened in the stones, though?
It was last event. I am tired, and also stones was a little bit dirty, and it's my taki go out, and I can't finish the event.
Oh, well, listen, congratulations. Once again, Zavikas wins the competition.
Thank you.
Cheers. Lawrence, I can see they're moving your name off the podium. Obviously, that's bitterly disappointing for you. Down to 4th. What happened in the stones?
Stones is always just crap for me. I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's a weak event. Problem for me was the event before. I don't know if maybe I took too much energy on the earlier events, but 150 log and not getting no reps, that cost me big time. Usually I get at least maybe 5, but it's one of those things. I've had fun today. Back enjoying strongman, so this year is going to be a lot stronger. I'll come back next competition, have some fun.
A word about Big C?
He's awesome. All these guys are awesome, but Zydrunas, he takes it to another level. And that's the kind of guy I try and emulate and get to one day.
Well, he was just shunted out of 3rd place by Stefan Solvi Pedersen. Brian Shaw is a very fine athlete and surely will contend in his home country by the time we get to the final. But in the end, there could only be one winner, Zydrunas Zavikas of Lithuania, a mighty man indeed. Well, certainly the crowd have seen thrills and spills here in Istanbul. The first event of its sort ever to be held anywhere in Turkey. And who knows, in the future, it could be a Turkish athlete that makes the road to the World's Strongest Man final.
So we have our first 3 qualifiers for the World's Strongest Man finals here in North Carolina, where Zydrunas Zavikas will be the man to beat, winner already of 2 titles. Next up on the Giants Live qualifying tour is the Excel Arena in East London. That's where we'll be next time. Make sure you join us for that then. For now, from all of us here, it's goodbye.
The tough guy.